Good morning, everyone. Uh, what a day yesterday. Let me get everything set up here. Uh, yeah, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I never thought I'd ever have to say that. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk.
7:16 here on the East Coast, 4:16 over on the West Coast. My name is Karal Lahara, and we are continuing to follow along with more of your breaking news headlines from throughout today and overnight. One of the biggest stories continues to be the shooting death of 31-year-old political activist Charlie Kirk. It is a story that is making national headlines today, and we have several partners from across the country
Dust, dust.
covering it in depth. Let's head back to our partners there at Fox 5 DC.
Okay.
Country on both sides of the aisle. A lot of Republican and Democrats agreeing the shooting highlights the tense political climate we're in this country. And joining us now for more insight, let's bring in both sides of the issue. Democratic strategist Christina Antello, Republican strategist Mark Williams. Always good to talk to both of you. Mark, I want to start with you. I mean, we've seen political violence ramp up on against both parties, right? Members of both parties, supporters of both parties. This seems obviously like it could be a bellwether moment in potential change, but it's just hard to tell these days. So where do things stand right now when it comes to this climate of political violence? Do you see it continuing to ramp up before things get better? Is there a way to reel things in? What is your take after this latest attack yesterday?
I hope and I have my fingers crossed that we can kind of turn down the temperature when it comes to our political rhetoric. But, kind of achieving that means convincing people that everything that the other side does isn't the end of America, and I think both sides have kind of been guilty of that. And so we've got to figure out a way to take some of the pressure out of the balloon, take some of the
I hate these fucking
things like this are just going to continue
people.
to escalate.
Christina, you've been part of the political game for a long time, and I think one of the things that really stands out in this case that's disturbing to so many people, aside from the attack itself, is that this is somebody who, tried to go out and talk with people who didn't necessarily agree with him, right? It wasn't just speaking to people that were 100% in agreement, but were like, listen, I'll go out and I'll hear other people. That to me is what seems like is what is becoming lost more and more in this country. It's just not just the ability to agree with people on the other side of the aisle, perhaps, but to listen to them. Do you feel the same?
I do, and it's funny because one of the reasons we like coming on this show is that Mark and I get to come on here, and I love that with Mark and I, like, we disagree on almost everything, but I still think he's a good man, and we get to still be friends, and we're business partners, and I think that's kind of lost in politics. He and I listen to each other all the time, and we debate all the time, and that is the part that's lost on it. And he teaches me a lot about the other side, and kind of like sometimes change.
Okay, how do you
need to be open to that, and that is part of.
How do you support anything on the Democrat side?
Why I wanted to talk about
How?
this morning, because you guys are a perfect example of being able to do that.
I don't understand
I guess that's
it.
the question, right? For people who may have trouble dealing with somebody who has ulterior political views than they do, the two of you have gotten along quite well for a very long time. What do you learn from each other? How do you do it? How do you recommend that somebody can coexist?
All right, I'm gonna
with
go grab a
somebody
cup
who
of
might share a
coffee,
different
everyone.
political opinion?
It's a mutual respect at the end of the day. Like I respect her immensely. I respect her opinions. I also respect that we may disagree at sometimes, but we're going to disagree without being disagreeable. And I think we have to get back to that kind of rhetoric, or else we're going to continue down kind of this same dark path. And so, like Christina said, we continue to do this, and we want to continue to do this to hopefully provide an example that you can have this discourse, and there may be some days where we just don't see eye to eye, but you put the mics down and you hug it out and you move on with your life.
So That being said, Christina, and I respect both of you for having that mindset and being able to work together and carry on together as you have in the professional setting. That being said, Christina, in this moment, is there agreement? Is this one of those cases where potentially people could come together just based on just the awfulness of the act itself?
I don't know. I guess my hopes aren't up. I guess maybe I'm just too cynical. I've been here a long time. Just this summer, we saw, state lawmakers be shot down in their own homes, but we've seen judges as well. We've seen kids, across the spectrum, arson in governors' homes. It's kind of across the board. We've seen in the baseball game, like the players being shot on the field. And then January 6th, I mean, like we've seen some really, really, momentous occasions of violence, and none of those have really swayed us. And so maybe I've just become cynical over the years, and it's just I hope that we can dial it down. I keep hoping that we dial it down, but I guess none of them really seem to do that. And I guess every time that this happens, I hope we take a pause.
I guess the question, one of many, Mark, is if that cynicism I'm sure exists among so many people across all the political spectrum, right? It's a challenge to stay away from the revenge part of it, I guess, for lack of a better way of saying it, that, somebody did something bad on one side, so somebody wants to do something bad on the other side. How do you...
There are so many reasons to love the play with the Arizona Lottery, like conserving Arizona wildlife.
More and more violence.
I think we've got to get away from everything being a life and death situation, and no pun intended. But at the end of the day, we need to make sure that regardless of our political views, we care about the people that we're disagreeing with, and they're human beings. And I think one thing that needs to be kind of said over and over again is that, with Charlie Kirk being shot, there's now a 1 and a 3-year-old that don't have a father, and that's just not good enough. And we've got to continue to move away from that.
It's personal for sure. Final word, Christina. What would you tell fellow Democrats today in wake of this latest attack?
I think we even saw last night on the floor of the House. I mean, kind of the same kind of disagreements happening there. Like we do need to dial it down. Democrats do need to take a deep breath, and Republicans as well. I mean, we saw some commentary on Twitter. Like everybody needs to take a moment and kind of reflect on it, and see the moment for what it is. I think that even President Trump ordering the flags at half-staff. Let's take a moment and reflect on it. And
this is my whole thought on all this. We have all these Democrats that have TV shows, like all the people on the View, and there's just so much hate in this country coming from the left. And it's been proven with people that were Democrats or liberals, and they left that side and became a conservative, and their close group of friends have just became enemies with them. And that's the whole thing. That we are so divided as a country that I don't see there being a fix. I don't see that this being ever being fixed. Not until we don't have any Democrats left. And I know that's very fucked up to say, but like I've been up all fucking night. I'm going on like my 12th cup of coffee, and I just been doom scrolling all over the internet. And there's people right now making videos laughing about Charlie Kirk being assassinated.
Here, and I'm going to go and ask my colleagues to join me in a moment of silence for our dear friend Charlie Kirk. We ask everyone to pray for him and his family. I'm just going to state the obvious here. This is detestable what's happened. Political violence has become all too common in American society, and this is not who we are. It violates the core principles of our country, our Judeo-Christian heritage, our civil society, our American way of life, and it must stop. We need every political figure, we need everyone who has a platform to say this loudly and clearly. We can settle disagreements and disputes in a civil manner, and political violence must be called out, and it has to stop. Again, we ask for prayer. I'm going to go lead the chamber here in a moment of silence, and we hope for the best for Charlie. Thank you.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I think it was Margaret Taylor Greene that called for there to be a moment of silence for Charlie on the House floor, and the Democrats fucking lost their mind, started booing and everything. You know, the whole TMZ thing, where, you know, live on television, you hear in the background everybody fucking clapping and cheering. We can't have that. And there is no coming back from this. Here, I want to show you guys something here. This was Charlie Kirk when he found out that President Trump won. It brought the man to tears. I know I will find it here. This was at the Yankees game. They had a moment of silence. But yeah, the freaking Democrats.
To eliminate your opponents.
The Democrats on the House floor, our elected officials, booed.
Having a confidence that that will resolve our differences, not through violence, but through democratic debate and decision.
We have freedom to speak what's on our mind and shouldn't get shot because we believe in our system of democracy, conservative, liberal, whatever you are. You shouldn't be shot for your beliefs. Nobody believes in that.
Right, so you were just listening in there
And
to some of the lawmakers yesterday on
I saw videos
to the deadly shooting
of people
activist Charlie Kirk
at the rally at the university
we have here a
that saw a person on the fucking roof.
Times new cover. Charlie
They
Kirk's
didn't say
killing
anything.
Become not just a tragedy, but a catalyst.
And also
Radicalizes
another
everyone
person in the video
less an aberration than a feature of our increasingly perilous
saw
national politics.
the fucking shooter running.
Here we have this post
and
from
they just
former
stood there and
President Barack
videoed.
Obama, saying we don't know
Now, I
yet
can't
what
run because I
motivated
got
the
a bad
person who
heart.
shot and killed Charlie
But I
Kirk.
guarantee
This kind
you,
of despicable violence has no place in
if
our democracy.
I was there
Michelle and I were
and I
praying
saw
for
you fucking
Charlie's
running,
family
holding
tonight,
a
especially his
rifle,
wife Erica and their two young
then
children.
my ass is gonna
And then
follow
just one
you.
more here. We're going to continue to filter throughout these, throughout the day today. But Secretary Kennedy also saying.
Here is that video. And the dude just stood there that fucking close. A young person Just like, oh, I'm going to video it. It's like, fucking really? And you didn't think to go run and chase that motherfucker down? People, I have said for years now, if you see something, say something. If you see something and you have the ability to do something, fucking do something. We have become a society where it's too fucking, that's our first instinct. Get the phone out. Get the phone out. You know, too many people want to have the next viral video. And it just fucking pisses me off. Because Charlie was a husband, a dad, a patriot. And now he is no longer with us. Sorry about that, everyone. I don't know why, for the amount of money my wife pays for our internet, that our internet has fucking problems. And I'm going to say this right now. Boycott TMZ. If you see that TMZ video, put on our hashtag boycott.
Today, we will be commemorating and remembering the 24 years since the 9/11 terrorist attacks, and you are taking a live image out here at Ground Zero over in New York City. I want to remind everyone that's tuned in with us that we are going to really be
Now, I
focusing on some
remember,
of the ceremonies that are going to be held across the
I've always
country
said I
to again
remember 2
honor
days.
everyone who lost their lives,
2
but
days
also all of the millions of people that are still impacted, family members that are still
that
impacted today.
will
I want to bring us
forever
up
live
close into
in
this
in
live
my
image that we
brain.
just got into our newsroom. So this is in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where you can see organizers are already setting up
Those 2 days are 9/11.
several ceremonies.
I can remember that day, the full day,
At Live Now
and the day Dale
so
Earnhardt
with us
died.
throughout the day today, as again we commemorate 24 years.
I've had people ask me, well, what about the day your
At the
wife
same
died?
time, we are continuing to follow
I have
more
blocked
of
that
the
day out
breaking
of my
stories
mind.
from overnight.
It's
Thank you all for being
gone.
with us here on this Thursday. My name is
But
Carla. One of those major news stories continues to be the shooting death of 31-year-old conservative activist
you know,
Charlie Kirk.
9/11 and the day Dale
Still on
Earnhardt
the
died.
run
I
as
was
this
watching that
investigators
Daytona
work
500.
throughout the night to try to find more clues, and they're also asking for anyone who attended that event in Utah to come forward with any information that they have. For more details on what we know so far, let's head to this report, courtesy of Fox News correspondent Doug Lusader.
As the manhunt continues, President Trump said he is filled with grief and anger over this attack.
A lot of people, Utah, tell you what.
This was Charlie Kirk just minutes before he was killed yesterday, facing a boisterous crowd and in the distance, an assassin. There was panic when Kirk was struck down. Hit in the neck, he fell over before being rushed away, and the gunman apparently fled.
I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination.
Utah's governor did not mince words, and police, too, have called it a targeted attack. Despite 2 people taken into custody and later released, police appeared to have little to go on.
This is a dark moment for America.
An angry President Trump spoke from the Oval Office last night. Kirk had been one of his most loyal supporters.
I visit college campuses so you don't have to.
An activist who savored debates, Kirk helped galvanize support from young conservatives, helping found the group Turning Point USA, which became a formidable movement. He leaves behind a wife and 2 young children. The president blamed his death on those who demonize political opponents.
This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now.
Despite some social media posts celebrating Kirk's death, on Capitol Hill, the denunciation of political violence was bipartisan, and at the White House, flags were lowered to half-staff. And Kirk was killed just as he was answering a question about mass shootings. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
Thank you to Doug Luzader for that report.
Yeah, the
This
mass
story
shootings that have
has
been,
making headlines all
I
across
think the
the
last
country. So we have several
7 or 8 of
partners,
them
that we have been checking in when
have
it comes to
been
some of their coverage and the reaction
trans
that they're
people
getting locally.
or
One of those is going to
non-binary
Fox
people.
35 in Orlando. So they had
They're
a
the
special
ones
guest
doing
on
it.
today to
It's
talk
because
about what this entire shooting means and how the investigation can move forward.
it's the simple fact of that we have become a soft society. Now, I said it 30 years ago when they said that, you can't spank your kids anymore. Well, I spanked my kids, and they both have families of their own now, and they're doing good. I see it all the fucking time, this soft parenting shit that's got to fucking stop. I see videos of parents showing their kids losing their fucking minds over them taking their iPads away. Well, why the fuck did you buy your child an iPad to start with? You, as a parent, have one job, and that is to raise your child. Get off your fucking phone, do your fucking job, and raise your fucking child. The TV isn't a parent. A tablet, an iPad isn't a fucking parent. A video game isn't a parent. Now, if you can't do that job, then don't have fucking kids. And I know I've argued with people so much about, well, I didn't mean to get pregnant. You had sex. Sex leads to pregnancy, leads to a child. Period. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And one thing I've been pushing this for years also. I think it ought to be federal law. And this is where I'm going to get a lot of women pissed off at me, and I don't fucking care. But it should be federal law that before the man signs a birth certificate, there should be a DNA test done to prove that that child is that man. Because, sorry, women, but you fucking lie. You lie all the fucking time. That's why I'm so grateful to have married a amazing woman that doesn't fucking lie. But so many women fucking lie. They have came out and admitted it on video that they knew who the father was, but the father made minimum wage, so they went with this other guy that they got with. Because, he made more money. And we have to stop being a society of all about money.
Represents, it certainly appears to be politically motivated.
When we look at, all of the factors in this, they believe it was a rooftop shooter. They believe it was from 200 yards away. They believe it was just one single shot. What do you make of that?
A certain level of expertise, although you don't have to be a professional if you're somewhat proficient with a rifle, with a scope on it. It's amazing how good you can become.
Okay, craziest touchdown ever.
Tennessee Titans, Music City Miracle. I called it.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I told everybody he was about to score.
You didn't tell nobody nothing. That's a fib.
New customers bet $5 to get 200 instantly in bonus bets.
Spotted that person. So a lot of planning. It's kind of a classic hallmark of intentional and targeted violence.
So let's talk about, you mentioned the outdoor venue and all of the
And
holes
also,
that are opened up because
I've
of
said
that.
this
And
since
can you talk
Trump was
specifically
shot in
about an
Butler,
event that you
Pennsylvania.
did security for in Rome?
Right.
We need to
Just
stop
how
the whole
difficult that
outdoor
is. What are
venues.
all of the
I
different
know
factors that
indoor
go into trying to
venues cost
secure an
more
event like
money.
that, and why is it almost impossible?
Well, first of all,
Pay the money to have an indoor venue.
surveillance of the security team is critical. If you only have 6 people, now I don't know if they had more. I certainly was augmented by the local university police, but that really is not sufficient to cover an area like that where you have several thousand people, that wide open space. You want to be able to see things coming before they happen. And so was this person allowed to be?
And also, for $300, you can go buy a fucking drone. That if there would have been a drone in the air ran by someone in a law enforcement role, they would have saw the fucking dude lying on the fucking roof. And anyway, why do we not have security people up on the fucking rooftops? Because I guarantee you, if I owned a security team and it was an outdoor venue, I would make sure that I had one person staged on every fucking rooftop within a quarter fucking mile. Every rooftop would have a person on it. You have the highest point of visibility. But a simple $300 drone could have spotted that man up there. People spotted the man from the ground. They fucking said nothing. They took a video on their phone, like, oh, look, there's somebody up on the roof. And they didn't say anything. That's what I am so fucking pissed about. They saw that person on the fucking roof. They could have stopped this. Charlie Kirk could have still been alive. But they didn't fucking say anything. And I hope they have to live with that thought in their head for the rest of their life. And it drives them fucking crazy, knowing that they saw the shooter, but they didn't say anything. And, as a person that lived for several years in the state of Utah, most people in the state of Utah don't have a fucking backbone because they're all into the Mormon religion and all that whack job shit. And yes, I call the Mormon religion whack jobs. I lived there. And if you want to see how crazy that state is, go there on a Sunday. Walk into a grocery store and try to buy beer. Oh, that's right, you can't. Walk into any store and try to buy a fifth of whiskey. You can't. You got to go to a state ran liquor store to buy hard alcohol. Walk into a gas station and try to buy a lottery ticket. Oh, that's right. You can't. Because that's just how that shithole state is. And it's a beautiful state. But we need to have, there's a thing called separation of church and state. Every state that I've been in, and I've been in 90% of them, the church doesn't run the fucking state. In Utah, oh yeah, it's totally ran by the fucking Mormon church. Now, when I lived there, I worked at Lazy Boy, building couches. the Mormons would get special treatment. And trust me, I got very loud and vocal about it, saying that, hey, if we're not getting that special treatment, they shouldn't either. I was even arrested because I did what the Mormons wanted me to do. Once a month, I get a knock on my door saying, hey, you should come to our church. The fucking Mormon missionaries. So a bunch of us one Sunday, we're like, yeah, we'll go to the Mormon church. Well, they didn't like the fact that we just walked straight in. We were arrested. And of course, we were let go because the chief of police in the town realized that it was fucking stupid because we were invited. I have said this time and time again, but I love living in the state of Arizona. I love the fact that if I want to go out and buy a 4-wheel drive truck and lift it to where it sits 10 feet in the fucking air, I can do that. If I want to take a pew, strap it to my side, and walk down the street, I can do that.
That he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the 2 young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed.
All right. I found the video. This is the video of our House of Representatives when they called for a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk.
The chair would ask that all members present in the chamber and those in the gallery please rise for a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk and his family. What purpose does the gentlelady from Colorado rise? Shh.
There's someone who can lead us in a moment of prayer out loud for Charlie and his family.
Shh. Let's wait a minute. Wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. Shh. The House will be in order. Shh. The House will be in order. We will join prayer right after this.
And I guarantee that Jasmine Crockett, you could fucking hear that fucking black bitch. And yes, I said black bitch.
God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Morning,
And that
Tony.
was a statement put out by President Trump on Truth Social just yesterday regarding the death of Charlie
And this
Kirk.
just goes to
Here on
show
your
how
screen, we're going to go through a couple more
evil
social
the
media posts
Democrats
on
are.
X. This first one from
A
White House
dude
Press
was
Secretary
assassinated,
Caroline
and
Leavitt.
you can't keep your
She says
fucking
this:
black
"When
bitch
I ran for
mouth
Congress
shut.
at 23 years old, Charlie Kirk was one of the first people to believe in me and endorse my grassroots campaign. That's because Charlie Kirk believed in the potential and promise of young people across our country, and he inspired millions of them to get involved in politics and fight for our nation's conservative values. Charlie positively changed the course of American history, and
I
his
tell you
legacy
right
will live
now,
on. I am
this
praying that
whole
God covers Charlie's wife, Erica,
assassination
and their two
of
beautiful children in his love. I pray that they
yeah,
are comforted knowing Charlie is in heaven with the Lord." And then she does provide a
that's
biblical quote here.
it.
A quote: "I am the resurrection and the life.
I
He who
don't
believes
think
in me will live,
Jasmine
even though he
Crockett could
die,
ever
and
shut her
whoever lives
fucking
by
mouth
believing in me
unless you
will
shoved
never
a
die."
fucking dick in
And
it.
that was from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. We also have here a post from former President Bill Clinton saying, "I'm saddened and angered by Charlie Kirk's murder. And I hope we all go through some serious introspection and redouble our efforts to engage and debate passionately, yet peacefully. Hillary and I are keeping Erica, their two young children, and their family in our prayers." Moving on here to the George W. Bush Presidential Center, a statement by former President Bush saying, quote, "Today, a young..."
Oh God, ads should not be allowed on a fucking live stream.
"Violence and vitriol must be purged from the public square. Members of our political parties are not our enemies. They are our fellow citizens. May God bless Charlie Kirk and his family, and may God guide America toward civility." Also here from UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is saying, "My thoughts this evening are with the loved ones of Charlie Kirk. It is heartbreaking that a young family has been robbed of a father and a husband. We must all be free to debate openly and freely without fear. There can be no justification for political violence." So as you can see, the death of Charlie Kirk has really made headlines across the globe, not just across the United States. And that investigation still continues. Remember, the manhunt is underway today for that shooting suspect. And President Trump has ordered
That was
flags
caught
to be
on camera
held at half staff
running
until
away.
Sunday evening. You can
If you
see it
wonder
here
what I'm
also
talking
in
about,
front of
I'll
the White
show
House.
you.
7:53 here on the East Coast, 4:53 over on the West Coast. We're going to step away for a brief commercial break, but we'll continue with more of the day's top stories when we come back.
There. That's the man caught on camera running away. Just fucking that fucking close. The dude was running. And of course, you know, in today's society, it's like, oh, I got to get the next viral video. People ain't concerned about anything anymore except getting the next viral video, which absolutely disgusts me. Now, I'm all about getting stuff on video. But, you know, it only takes one person to video but that's the thing. And it's all over that dude on the subway, Daniel Penny. He saw something, did something, and they fucking threw him in fucking jail for it. And that's why those people on the subway where that Ukraine girl was so violently murdered, they just fucking sat
Welcome
there.
back, and thank you all for joining us on this Thursday here at Live Now from Vox. My name is
Because,
Carla.
oh my God,
It is
you
September
know, if
11th,
I
and I'd
do
like to
something,
remind
I'm going to get
everyone that has
canceled.
tuned in with us throughout the day today that we are going to continue to commemorate 24 years since the 9/11 terror attacks that happened and killed nearly 3,000 people. We do have here a live image there, a ground zero over in New York, where just one of those ceremonies will get underway later today. We also have this live picture coming out of Shanksville in Pennsylvania. And you know what?
No,
President Trump will be joined
there is
by
still a
the
manhunt
Secretary of
out
War,
for
Pete
him.
Hegseth, along with First Lady Melania Trump. They
And
will actually be
you saw
involved
him on
in
fucking
Virginia
camera.
at the Pentagon
There's a
for the
video
ceremony
that
there.
somebody
For all the
shot
latest
of
regarding
him being on the fucking roof.
these commemorations, let's go to a report
And I don't
from Fox News
understand
correspondent Connor Hansen.
the society we live in. We have fucking cameras and tech out the wazoo. For $350, you can buy a 4K drone that will let you see stuff that you can't see from the fucking ground. Every event like that, there should be a fucking drone in the air, ran by the police department. They could have saw the dude on the fucking roof with the fucking rifle and stopped him. But no. And I think the problem is that so many people don't want to learn how to use tech. I bet I get emailed at least once a week. Every time I mention using the pro mode on your camera on your cell phone, people are like, well, how do I use it? Go onto YouTube, type in your fucking phone, and type in pro camera mode. There'll be a person on there that will hold your fucking little hand and walk you through how to use the pro mode on your fucking cell phone. But people have just gotten so fucking lazy that they don't want to learn anything. And I am flat out not going to help anybody anymore. So don't even come ask me a question about, editing a video or how to what gear to get. I've made fucking videos about it. It's like it's 2025. You have a question, type it into YouTube, and the answer will be right there. But that means that you have to learn. Somebody can't just hold your fucking little hand and walk you through how to fucking do it. Like I got asked how I put the flag up on my television. A USB stick. I transferred the video to a USB stick and put it on my television. That is playing off a 128 gig USB stick. It's simple. It's not rocket science. And I shouldn't be the one sitting here saying that since I'm the survivor of 2 strokes. My brain doesn't work near as good as what it did prior to my first stroke. And I figured this out I figured out how with no money to be able to build out a fucking studio. I have 2 fucking computers in there right in front of me. I have 3 monitors and a 32-inch television. But so many people are just like, I can't figure out how to do it. Can you hold my hand and show me? And it's like, no.
And again, it is believed that they were acting alone. 2 people were detained Wednesday, but neither was determined to be connected to the shooting, and both of them were released. The university said the campus was immediately evacuated and remained closed. Classes were canceled until further notice. Those still on campus were asked to stay in place until police officers could safely escort them. We haven't gotten any new information from overnight in terms of where this investigation stands
All right,
today.
here's
Really the major
here's
headline.
a question. It's university, meaning that there's dorm rooms, meaning that there's people that if you tell them to get off campus, that you can't be on campus, where the fuck are they supposed to go? The campus is their home. Their dorm room is their home. Where are they supposed to fucking go?
Was shot at an event at the Utah Valley University. He was taken by private vehicle to Timpanogos Hospital, where he later passed. The Utah Department of Public Safety will be co-leading this criminal investigation to find this killer, along with the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Now, I will say this,
With the
everybody.
County Sheriff's Office,
If you haven't
local
saw
police
the
department,
up
and the
close
University Police
video
Department, all
of
which
Charlie
have been
Kirk
very
being
cooperative
shot,
and fully engaged in this
don't
process.
watch it.
Shortly after the
Unless you
shooting,
want
we did
that
have a suspect in
that
custody,
video
George Zinn,
stuck in your fucking
but
brain.
he was released from custody after we identified that he did not match the shooting suspect and was not an accurate person of interest. However, he has been booked into the county jail by Utah Valley University Police Department for obstruction of justice. We do still have an active investigation for the person of interest. This incident occurred with a large crowd around. There was 1 shot fired and one.
See, I fucking hate that they use the politically correct term of person of interest. No, you're looking for the fucking shooter, not person of interest. We need to stop this whole PC bullshit. I can't fucking stand it anymore. Person of interest. You got a manhunt for the fucking shooter.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the FBI, we extend our sincerest condolences to the family and friends of Charlie Kirk. Our thoughts are also with the people who witnessed this traumatic event.
Oh,
We
I
know
was
that
asked
what you experienced
something
was very difficult.
last night. Well, how did the FBI get from Washington, D.C. to Salt Lake City so fucking quick? You do realize, everybody, that every state has their own FBI branch. There's an FBI branch here in Phoenix. I know. My Patriot group did a rally right across the street from it. A surprise show up in the morning with like 30 fucking cars and trucks. One of them was towing a trailer mounted cannon. We got our point across real fucking quick. But yeah, every major city has their own division of their own branch of the FBI.
To the Kirk family, we grieve with our students,
faculty, and staff who bore witness to this unspeakable tragedy. He was invited by the student group Turning Point USA to speak on our campus.
Yeah, it was.
We firmly believe that UVU is a
It
place
was
to share
gruesome.
ideas and to debate openly and respectfully. Any attempt to infringe on those rights has no place here. We do not condone any form of violence at UVU and seek to.
But all this violence is from the left. And I just love how,
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
The left is all about, guns
occasion.
are bad.
I want to thank our
Look
law
at all this
enforcement
gun violence
officers
going
who
on.
are leading this investigation, starting with Chief Long
And
his response here.
Even though the left is the one perpetuating the gun violence. Like, there was some news person
and again to the
right after this happened that said that it could have been a
I also want to
supporter,
recognize Sheriff Mike Smith,
just
who is a valuable partner as this investigation
being
moves forward.
excited
I've been in
and
touch with President
and I'm like,
Trump,
no,
with FBI
it
Director
was
Kash
not a
Patel.
Charlie Kirk supporter
We
that
are
did this.
completely aligned with our state and federal partners as we work through this case. Now, this is a dark day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation. And I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination. We are celebrating 250 years of the founding of this great nation. That founding document, the Declaration of Independence, that this great experiment on which we embarked together 250 years ago, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. The first one of those is life. And today, a life was taken. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a dad to two young children. He was also very much politically involved, and that's why he was here on campus. Charlie believed in the power of free speech and debate to shape ideas and to persuade people. Historically, our university campuses in this nation and here in the state of Utah have been the place where truth and ideas are formulated and debated. And that's what he does. He comes on college campuses and he debates. That is foundational to the formation of our country, to our most basic constitutional rights. And when someone takes the life of a person because of their ideas or their ideals, then that very constitutional foundation is threatened. Now, we have a person of interest in custody. The investigation is ongoing. But I want to make it crystal clear right now to whoever did this, we will find you. We will try you. And we will hold you accountable to the furthest extent of the law. And I just want to remind people that we still have the death penalty here in the state of Utah. Our nation is broken. We've had political assassinations recently in Minnesota. We had an attempted assassination on the governor of Pennsylvania. And we had an attempted assassination on a presidential candidate and former president of the United States, and now current president of the United States. Nothing I say can unite us as a country. Nothing I can say right now can fix what is broken. Nothing I can say can bring back Charlie Kirk.
What does feel a lot more finished is the opera browser. Like,
Oh
it has
my
a music player built
God.
into the sidebar, and it is perfect because it means you're not fumbling around in your tabs like, where the hell is this music playing from? I've just set mine to be always here.
If anyone in the sound of my voice celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting, I would beg you to look in the mirror and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere. I don't care what his politics are. I care that he was an American. We desperately need our country. We desperately need leaders in our country. But more than the leaders, we just need every single person in this country to think about where we are and where we want to be. To ask ourselves, is this it? Is this what 250 years has wrought on us? I pray that that's not the case. I pray that those who hated what Charlie Kirk stood for will put down their social media and their pens and pray for his family, and that all of us will try to find a way to stop hating our fellow Americans. With that, we're happy to take a few questions.
The FBI director is posting that a suspect is in custody. I would just like clarification. Do you or do you not have a suspected shooter in custody?
We have a person of interest in custody that is being interviewed right now.
That is not George Zinn.
That is not George Zinn. That is correct.
Are you still
searching or looking for another shooter or anybody else related to this?
Yes, we are actively looking for anyone and everyone who has any possible information relating to the shooting.
Can you tell us details about the suspect being taken into custody? Where? How long ago?
We cannot at this point, but we
No,
will get you
because
that
it's an open
information when
investigation.
we can.
Is there believed to be a second individual involved in the shooting?
At this point, there is no information that would lead us to believe that there is a second person involved.
Can you guys talk about the possible shooting?
Do you want to talk about what we know there? Yeah.
The only information we have on the suspect, the possible shooter, is taken from closed circuit TV here on campus. We do have that.
Damn, he is tall. Holy shit.
But it is security camera footage, so you can kind of guess what the
And
cause
see,
of that
that's
is.
what gets me
We do
also.
know, dressed in all dark clothing, but we don't.
It's
have much
2025.
description other than that.
Where do you believe the shot came from?
The shot came from
My
here on
dash
campus,
cam in my fucking car
a location
films in 1440p. There is no excuse for your fucking security cameras to look like a fucking
So we were listening in here.
Sony
This was the
camcorder
latest
from the fucking
update that was
80s.
provided on video in which
Update
several
your
investigators
fucking
there, law
shit.
enforcement personnel and officials down in Utah did give some initial comments to the press and also answer some questions from reporters. Now, of course, in this, we do know that two people of interest, they were detained yesterday. Both, though, have since been released because it was not confirmed.
And the reason I'm so pissed about camera quality, this camera right here, a $50 Logitech webcam, and you see how crystal clear it is. This is a webcam from downtown Phoenix, mounted 30 stories up in the fucking air. And look how clear it is. There is no fucking excuse for us to ever say,
At Utah Valley University.
well, it
Any
was
of this information,
security
photos and
cam
video from
footage,
the
and the
incident
footage is
help
fucking
the FBI identify more
crappy.
answers by sharing
No,
details here, and then they do
that's
provide
not a
link
fucking
there,
excuse. That's an excuse because
in order
you're too fucking cheap
for any of these
and
witnesses
lazy
to
to
submit
fix
all
the
of those
fucking
tips.
problem.
They also had another statement there, that a photo that you see in which they said, quote, As soon as we heard about the shooting, special agents and personnel from the Salt Lake City field office responded immediately. We have full resources devoted to this investigation, including tactical, operational, investigative, and intelligence. To be clear, the FBI will fully support and co-lead this investigation alongside our partners, and that statement, that quote, was courtesy of the special agent in charge down there for FBI in Salt Lake City. So again, we are expecting that update coming up at 9 a.m. Eastern time here, the latest in the investigation and the manhunt for the shooter in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Remember, that shooter is still at large. I want to take us out to this live image that we have at the White House over in Washington, D.C., because we know that officials are participating in 9/11 ceremonies across
Look,
the
that's a
country.
webcam
But we did
image
just get
right
word that
there.
Vice President J.D. Vance, instead of going to some of those
Look how
planned
clear it
ceremonies
is.
that he was expected
There
to
is
attend,
no
he will
fucking
actually be going to
excuse
Utah to pay
to
a
have
visit there
shitty fucking
after the
cameras.
assassination of
None
Charlie
at
Kirk.
all.
It's unclear at this time as to if he's going to be making any statements or perhaps holding some talks there
It
with
just
some of the
pisses me
members of
off.
law enforcement. But if we do get a live image of the vice president, we'll bring it to you here as always. And I do believe also that Second Lady Usha Vance will be with him again as they visit Utah after the deadly shooting of Charlie Kirk. We're going to step away for a brief commercial break, but we continue to follow all of these top stories when we come back.
You know, I just don't get it why all of these images here are from cameras. Cameras mounted way up where they're not being taken care of like every single fucking day. They're getting rained on and everything. And look how clear the footage is. Your security camera needs to be of the utmost quality. It needs to be 1080p at the least. At the fucking least. But no, nobody wants to spend the money. And it's not like you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. Cameras aren't that expensive anymore. And when it comes to like a university, you've got money. One of your alumni probably works for a security company. They could get you an amazing camera setup. Because years ago, me and my late wife managed a bar. Our bar got broken into. The camera setup that the owner had for the bar was crappy. Way crappy. I literally called the company that we were renting the cameras from and told them that I wanted an upgrade. They fucking came there and they asked me what quality of camera I wanted. And I'm like, I want to be able to walk outside, smile at the camera, and I want the camera to be able to see if I brushed my teeth that fucking day. Look how clear that mic is. But,
is set to get started at around 8:45 a.m. Eastern time. But coming up at around 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, we have this live image and a ceremony happening over in New York City, where it's going to be held there in Ground Zero. This is what we call a switch feed. So they have been going back and forth between shots of the crowd and people who are attending to also this, the 9/11 memorial that is established down there in New York. And as you can see,
Yeah, we
back here,
will
it's another
never
image of the
forget.
crowd. And just moments ago, I did see New
Unfortunately,
York
I
City
think a
Mayor
lot of
candidate
us have
Zoran
forgotten
Mamdani.
about
We
it.
also saw former New York City
You
Mayor
know,
Rudy
24 years
Giuliani
ago,
heading in there, as well as several other military members, law enforcement, and of course, family members who are there to remember and honor those we've lost. Speaking of 9/11, let's dip into some of this coverage courtesy of our partners at Fox 5 in New York, because not only are they talking about some of these ceremonies for 9/11, but also the investigation into the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
When terrorists carried out coordinated attacks on the World Trade Center, the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia, and crashed a plane in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. It's a day that changed New York City forever.
As thousands gather to remember those lost, the NYPD is on high alert this morning. Joining us right now from Lower Manhattan, Mayor Adams, thank you so much for being with us on Good Day New York this morning. What do we need to know about the terror alerts this morning?
We are remaining vigilant, as we always do. The 30,000+ law enforcement officers coordinating with our federal partners because of many of the high-profile individuals who are going to be here. We want to make sure that we maximize our collaboration and coordination to keep this area safe.
Mayor, everybody remembers where they were when they heard the horrific news on this day. Where were you, and tell us about your experience?
I was a lieutenant at the time, assigned to the 88th precinct, and if you recall, that was primary day, election day, and I was in the uptown west side of Manhattan when I saw the first plane struck the tower. Right away, I thought it was terrorism, and moments later, we saw the second. And as police officers, we were instructed always, if there's a major event, you will be mobilized to your command if you're on or off duty. And so I started making my way downtown because our subway systems were not operating.
It appears we've got technical difficulties and may have lost our connection with the mayor. As soon as we can get that up again, we will rejoin him as we continue this day of commemoration.
we shouldn't have technical difficulties in
Who
2025.
is down in Lower Manhattan as well, with more on the ceremonies that will take place in just a bit. Briella.
Yeah, Kirk, good morning to you. And of course, this was a day our nation vowed to never forget. It is all too poignant for New Yorkers this morning, especially the weather being so similar to what it was like 24 years ago on this very day. The grief still so palpable. But today, thousands will gather here in Lower Manhattan to honor and remember the lives lost on September 11th, 2001. You heard the mayor say before he got cut off that there are a lot of high-profile people expected to be in attendance. Dignitaries are arriving slowly as we speak, but the memories and the emotions, well, they return even more vividly as survivors and family members descend on Ground Zero on the 9/11 memorial for the annual recitation of nearly 3,000 names. 6 piercing moments of silence commemorate the key events of that fateful day. At 8:46 a.m., Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower. Almost instantly, the World Trade Center was shrouded in black, billowing smoke and smoldering ash. 17 minutes at 9:03, Flight 175 struck the South Tower. At 9:37, Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon. At 9:59, the South Tower collapsed. At 10:03, Flight 93 plowed into an empty field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and the North Tower fell at 10:28. Now, as America marks the 24th anniversary of the attacks, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is providing 21 mortgage-free homes to the families of fallen first responders. The organization supports members of the U.S. military and those who died in the line of duty since 2001. Frank Siller, whose brother Stephen Siller died a hero on 9/11, inspired that foundation.
We didn't know we were going to do this work 24 years ago. We just wanted to honor my brother's sacrifice, what he did running through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel with his fire gear on his back, getting to ground zero, and, you know, while saving others, gave up his life. And he was our little brother. He was the youngest of 7 of us, and he was married and had 5 kids. So when we found out what he did, we just wanted to do the right thing and to honor him and all those who perished on that day.
Yeah, such a wonderful organization that gives back to the 9/11 community. And another thing to point out here, the deaths from 9/11 related illnesses now surpass the deaths of the people who were on the planes and in the towers in New York City on that fateful day. 6 homes, 6 mortgage-free homes will go to the families of first responders who died of those diseases. And again, Kurt and Rosanna, things will get underway. The ceremony will begin in a little over a half hour from now here in Lower Manhattan. We'll send it back inside to you in the studio.
Okay, thank you so much, Briella. All right, I think we have fixed our technical problems. Mayor Adams is getting ready for the ceremony in Lower Manhattan. Mayor, sorry for that technical problem, but you were in the middle of talking about that you were on the Upper West Side as a lieutenant in the police force, and you were getting ready to go downtown. Mayor Adams?
Okay, now he can't hear us. So we're going to have to move forward. Unfortunately, the mayor will be down there as part of the ceremonies, and we won't be able to communicate with him beforehand. We apologize.
You know, I can live stream all over the world on my fucking cell phone. Go live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, X, all that via a fucking cell phone. And a news organization can't figure it out. Unacceptable.
And the manhunt continues to find the shooter responsible for killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
It happened at a college campus in Utah yesterday, and no person of interest has been named just yet. Haley Fixler is keeping an eye on things for us this morning. What do you know, Haley?
Good morning, Kurt, Rosanna. Well, there are a lot of unanswered questions this morning, like who did this, why, and why hasn't the shooter been found? Authorities did take 2 people into custody throughout the day yesterday, but they've backtracked and say neither of them had anything to do with this shooting. So here is what we do know. The 31-year-old husband and father of 2 young kids was killed doing what he's known for, debating college students on campus. He was at Utah Valley University, which was set to be the first stop of a Turning Point USA campus tour. Turning Point is a conservative organization that was co-founded by Kirk when he was 18. He's known for opening up a dialogue and entering into debates with students who have different views. Kirk was responding to a member of the audience when a single shot was fired from afar. That bullet hit Kirk's neck. Utah's governor is calling this a political assassination. We spoke with a former New York State senator and former Homeland Security advisor for New York about why it's taking investigators a long time to find the killer.
A rifle sound, sound of a report.
Good morning, Olivia.
Nobody was able to identify an individual, which most likely means that the individual was shooting from concealment and maybe had some way to suppress or to hide the flash of the gun. And again, indicating that this is a sophisticated individual. One shot hitting the target from 200 meters away and then escaping without anybody seeing them. Those are the hallmarks of a professional.
No, President Donald Trump was close with Kirk. He said yesterday was a dark day for America. Trump has vowed to find whoever is responsible for Kirk's death and hold them accountable. Kirk and Turning Point encouraged young Republicans to get to the polls on Election Day. And some people credit him in part with helping get Trump reelected. Take a listen to what Trump had to say.
Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loves so much, the United States of America. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the 2 young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world.
And within the past few minutes, we've just learned that Vice President J.D. Vance has canceled his plans to visit New York City today to attend the 9/11 ceremony in Lower Manhattan. Instead, he will travel to Utah to pay respects to the family of Charlie Kirk. President Trump has also ordered all flags to be lowered to half-staff through Sunday. Again, the manhunt for the killer continues this morning. Kurt, Rosanna.
All right, thank you very much. Haley, still ahead. We will continue our day.
And thank you there to our partners down at Fox 5 in New York, covering both of the biggest news stories of the day. That is the assassination of political activist Charlie Kirk. And also, today we are commemorating 24 years since the 9/11 attacks. We're going to step away for a quick commercial break. I want to bring you back out to this live image that we have over in New York City, though, because very soon we are expecting for this event to get underway. It is a ceremony and a service for 9/11. And then a reminder that coming up at around 9 a.m. Eastern time, we are expecting an update from the FBI regarding that manhunt still underway for the shooter and killer of political activist Charlie Kirk. We'll be right back.
Yeah, it's just a very somber day. You know, I didn't know Charlie Kirk. I never met him. But I cried most of the night last night, most of the day yesterday. I haven't been to sleep yet since yesterday. I know I'm going to crash out probably soon, but and I was already, not doing good, emotionally with, it being the 24-year anniversary of 9/11, and then to be woken up with my phone blowing up about Charlie Kirk. Because somebody emailed me like right after it freaking happened. And I was like, holy shit. Exactly. When my wife got up to go to work, I walked out to the kitchen and she was like, it looks like you've been crying. And I'm like, I have. She goes, who died? And I'm like, Charlie Kirk was just assassinated. And she goes, who? Because she's not all into the politics and stuff. So I showed my wife Charlie's picture. And then she had seen him on social media. And she was all like, holy shit. And I'm like, yeah. And I was just sent a video. I'm not going to show you the video, but it was shot from like the third or fourth row. And it shows everything. I'm like, Charlie's gone. Morning, Ray. Yeah. He was just out there trying to bring people together, trying to wake people up. And a liberal leftist took his fucking life. And remember, everyone, Charlie's got 2 very young kids. I think one of them was 1 year old and one was 3 years old. And his wife was sitting right next to him. Could you imagine sitting next to your spouse doing what both of you love to do and your spouse being shot that gruesomely? Now, I'm sure everybody has seen the video. If you haven't, don't watch it. It'll be one of those videos that's stuck in your head. But yeah. Exactly. And that's how it always is. Yeah. That video is just. And that's why I'm so grateful that I got all these moderators. Because, like, probably 6 or 7 of you email me all the time. Because you guys are my eyes and ears everywhere. I mean, I've got videos in my email that I've saved to my external hard drive that I might be the only one that's got a copy of said video because it's been taken down all over the internet. Yeah. I couldn't imagine that. I did a whole lot of thinking yesterday about my own family. Because I know a lot of you probably don't know this, but I've gotten death threats for doing exactly what I'm doing here. They don't want people like us talking. I seriously thought about yesterday of going out to my car and scraping my YouTube channel off the back of it, worrying about the safety of my wife. I asked her that, and she goes, "No, leave it on there." Which is why I love my freaking wife. She is such a rock. It's just, it's really sad now that not only do we have to deal with the memories of 9/11, we have to deal with the death of Charlie Kirk. And I've seen videos on like TikTok and stuff. And I know a lot of people are like, I don't like TikTok. I get most of my information from TikTok. Exactly. And if my wife would have been like, yeah, take it off, I would have been like, fine. I would have went out there, scraped it right off. Because family comes first over everything. My daughter has offered to put my YouTube channel on the back window of her car because she knows the advertising aspect of it. And I just flat out told her, I'm like, no. And she was like, why not, Dad? And I'm like, because if something happened to you or my granddaughters, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. That's what I've been saying that since Trump was shot in Butler, Pennsylvania. For those of you that don't know, I was restreaming that Trump rally when Trump was shot. I think I was the first YouTube channel to put a video out because I instantly went, rolled it back, grabbed my phone and did a video right on the fucking screen, all ghetto style, and posted the video of Trump being shot. I mean, this has been very hard on me because I've got PTSD. Not because I was in the military, but 14 years ago, I held my wife in my arms when she took her last breath. So this really, my PTSD is way messed up. And the total reason why I run this channel is because of my family. I've got 5 grandkids, and I want them to grow up in a good country they can be proud of. If it was just me and my wife, and I didn't have any kids or anything, I'd be doing other stuff. I hate the fact that I got to sit here day in, day out, making videos every single day, posting all over all the social media platforms, trying to wake people up. I would much rather be out in my car taking videos of how beautiful the state of Arizona is, or doing cooking videos, which I'm going to get started up as soon as we get moved.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the
Oh no. Good morning, Tracy.
Gordon M. Ameth Jr.
Edemilro Abad.
Marie Rose Abad.
Andrew Anthony Abate.
Vincent Paul Abate.
Lawrence Christopher Abel.
Alana Abraham.
William F. Abrahamson.
Richard Anthony Aceto.
Heinrich Bernard Ackerman.
Paul Aquaviva.
Christian Adams.
Donald Leroy Adams.
Patrick Adams.
Shannon Lewis Adams.
Stephen George Adams.
Ignatius Udo Adanga.
Christy A. Adamo.
Terrence Edward Adderley Jr.
Sophia B. Addo.
Lee Adler.
Daniel Thomas Afuito.
Emmanuel Akwasi Afwakwa.
Alok Agarwal.
Mukul Kumar Agarwala.
Joseph Agnello.
David Scott Agnes.
Joao Alberto de Fonseca Aguiar Jr.
Brian G. Ahern.
Jeremiah Joseph Ahern.
Joanne Marie Aladiotis.
Sabir Ahmed.
Terrence Andre Aiken.
Godwin O. Ajala.
Trudy M. Alagero.
Andrew Almino.
Margaret Ann Alario.
Gary M. Albero.
John Leslie Albert.
Peter Greg Alderman.
And my father, the aforementioned John Leslie Albert, he was a great man to those who knew him, missed by everyone, but we feel his presence with us to this day. One other note I wanted to make about the 20 names I read. These were people who the median age was 37 years old. The youngest was 22, fresh out of college. These were people who had their whole lives in front of them, a lot to live for. They simply went to work one day and never came home. And we must always remember them.
And our brother, TJ Hargrave, we miss him.
Jacqueline Delane Aldridge Frederick.
David D. Alger.
Ernest Alacacos.
Edward L. Allegretto.
Eric Allen.
Joseph Ryan Allen.
Richard Dennis Allen.
Richard L. Allen.
Christopher E. Allingham.
Anna S. W. Allison.
Janet Marie Alonso.
Anthony Alvarado.
Antonio Javier Alvarez.
Victoria.
The new Whataburger Bacon Wrangler Double. It's got 2 fresh beef patties, crispy onion strings,
Cesar Amaranto Aviar.
Tariq Amanullah.
Joseph Amatuccio.
James M. Amato.
Christopher Charles Amoroso.
Paul W. Ambrose.
Okay. Christopher Charles Amoroso.
Craig Scott Amundsen.
Kazuhiro Anai.
Calixto Anaya Jr.
Joseph P. Achandia.
Kermit Charles Anderson.
Yvette Constance Anderson.
John Jack Andriacchio.
Michael Rourke Andrews.
Jean N. Andrucki.
Sue Nya Ang.
Joseph Angelini Sr.
Joseph John Angelini Jr.
David Lawrence Angel.
Mary Lynn Edwards Angel.
Laura Angeletta.
Doreen J. Angrisani.
Lorraine Antigua.
Seima David Aoyama.
And my brother, firefighter John James Tipping II, Engine 54, Ladder 4, Battalion 9. Today we honor and remember the lives taken on September 11th, 2001. Each name we say is a reminder of someone deeply loved and forever in our hearts. We continue to speak their names to ensure they are never forgotten and to remind ourselves of the love, courage, and resilience that endures. We love and miss you, JT.
And my uncles, Jose Benvenido Gomez and Enrique Antonio Gomez, we will love you and miss you forever. Your memories will live forever. And we want to thank all the first responders and our military personnel. Thank you.
Peter Paul Apollo.
Faustino Apostle Jr.
Frank Thomas Aquilino.
Patrick Michael Arenos.
David Gregory Arche.
Michael George Archinsky.
Louis Arena.
Michael Barbara Jean Aristegui.
Adam P. Arias.
Michael J. Armstrong.
Jack Charles Aaron.
Joshua Todd Aaron.
Richard Avery Arano.
Myra Joy Aronson.
Japheth Jesse Arias.
Carl Francis Asaro.
Michael A. Asiak.
Michael Edward Asher.
Janice Marie Ashley.
Thomas J. Ashton.
Manuel O. Asidembe.
Greg A. Atlas.
Gerald Thomas Atwood.
James Audifray.
Louis F. Aversano Jr.
Ezra Aviles.
Sandy Ayala.
Arlene T. Babakides.
Eustace R. Bacchus,
John J. Padagliaka,
Jane Ellen Basler,
Robert J. Beerwater,
Andrew J. Bailey,
Brett T. Bailey,
Garnet Ace Bailey,
Tatiana Bakalinskaya,
Michael S. Baksh,
Sharon M. Balcom,
Michael Andrew Bain,
Catherine Bantis,
and my father, Police Officer Paul Talty. We love and miss you always.
and my uncle Christopher Epps. Uncle Christopher, you wasn't just my uncle, you was a brother to me. Us being 6 years apart, you definitely treated me like your little sister. You joked around, messed with me, broke my Barbie dolls. Me wanted to come and play video games with you. I will never forget our last morning together. You made me your last breakfast with me, pancakes. We had a conversation, told me that goodbye, I see you later, and I love you. And I will take the memories in forever. Thank you so much. God bless you all, and God bless America.
All right, you are listening there to the name ceremony as they read the names of all those who were impacted, killed there in the 9/11 terror attacks back 24 years ago. Right now, I do want to show you this image right here as we just saw the arrival of President Donald Trump at this service over in Virginia. Now, we are expecting that we could get some comments from the president, so we are going to make sure to bring those to you here on Live Now from Fox as they do get underway. But I also want to call your attention to that QR code that is over there on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. You can watch the entire naming ceremony. This is going to be uninterrupted here on our YouTube stream. All you have to do is take out your phone and scan that QR code. It will take you right there. Now, again, we are awaiting these comments from President Donald Trump. He just walked by very briefly, shaking hands with folks, and is now headed over toward the stage. Once we do hear those comments from him, we'll make sure to bring those to you in full here on Live Now from Fox. And I also do want to take you out to this live image that we have as we are expecting an update here on the investigation into the assassination of Charlie Kirk that took place yesterday over in Utah. As you can see, there are folks there who are setting up the podium, getting everything ready to go. This is slated to begin at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Not clear if it is running on time, but we're going to make sure to bring you those comments and any updates here as the shooter does remain at large. As we wait for more of this here, we're approaching the 9 o'clock hour on the East Coast and 6 o'clock hour on the West Coast. We are going to head back to that naming ceremony as we wait for that to get underway.
Beatty, Alan Anthony Bevan, Lawrence Ira Beck, Manette Marie Beckles, Carl John Bedizian, Michael Ernest Beekman, and my grandfather, firefighter Robert James Crawford, who will forever be our hero. There is no greater sacrifice than the one you and so many others made that day and continue to make every day. I'm angry you were taken from us, but I beam with pride at the hero that you are. We miss you every day, and we will never forget. And for my cousin Gary M.L. Barrow, Gary, thank you for leaving a legacy behind that reminds us to always put family first, challenge yourself, love hard, and have fun. Hope you're having a great time up there with Dad, Aunt Ro, and the rest of the family. We love and miss you. God bless you all, and God bless America.
Maria A. Bear,
Max J. Bilkey,
Yelena Bilolowski,
Nina Patrice Bell,
Debbie S. Bellows,
Stephen Elliott Belson,
Paul M. Benedetti,
Denise Lorraine Benedetto,
Brian Craig Bennett,
Eric L. Bennett,
Oliver Bennett,
Margaret L. Benson,
Dominic J. Berardi,
James Patrick Berger,
Stephen Howard Berger,
John P. Bergen,
Alvin Bergson,
Daniel David Bergstein,
Graham Andrew Berkeley,
Michael J. Berkeley,
Donna M. Bernards,
David W. Bernard,
William H. Bernstein,
David M. Baran,
David Shelby Berry,
Joseph John Berry,
William Reed Bethke,
Benene Beatru,
Timothy D. Betterly,
Carolyn Meyer Bugh,
Edward Frank B.A.,
Paul Michael Bear,
Anil Talram Parvani,
Bella J. Buchan,
Shimi D. Beagleson,
Peter Alexander Beefield,
William G. Biggert,
Brian Eugene Belcher,
Mark Bingham,
Carl Vincent Beanie,
and my son, Paul Robert Eckner.
All right. You can see right now as President Trump, we mentioned he is walking up to the podium. It's not clear if he's going to make those comments, but if you do want to continue to watch that ceremony as they read the names of all of those victims who passed away there, killed in the 9/11 terror attacks 24 years ago today, you can scan that QR code on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. But again, the camera is following President Donald Trump as he heads toward the stage for this event. Not quite clear again if he's walking right up to the podium right away or if we'll hear comments from him a bit later. Looks like he and Melania Trump are taking their seats first. Going to keep it on this image and lift up the audio to see what we can hear right now.
Please remain standing for the presentation of colors and the playing of the national anthem performed by the United States Air Force Band, directed by First Lieutenant Julian Sconiers, and the Joint Armed Forces Chorus, directed by Captain Bonnie Alger. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Dr. Paul W. Ambrose.
Dang it.
He's standing up against far left extremism and political violence. So I accept their apology. I do. Because we have to say, thank you for condemning what people are saying about Charlie. And we leave the door open for you to come and stand with us against this violence. Don't push them away. They are telling you that they agree with you. You may not like what the initial video was. Now, as for Occupy Democrats, many of these other organizations, they are hammering down, doubling down, effectively saying that they believe Charlie got what he deserved. These people are evil. They are demons. They are making posts saying mainstream Democrats are condemning the violence while MAGA calls for blood and vengeance, which is just false. Charlie never called for violence. He denounced it. All of the top prominent personalities have rejected this. A good majority of run-of-the-mill accounts are rejecting political violence, mostly expressing fear that the left has opened the door, that they have fired the starting gun, that they have signaled to each other it's now. And I will say this of Democrats and liberals, they are similarly condemning the violence. It is the fringe of the far left cheering for this. However, prominent liberal and progressive NGOs are celebrating. Comments across Reddit are celebrating. I am not going to condemn political leaders right now for condemning this. I will absolutely call out those advocating for violence or escalation, and I don't care who they are. But I don't believe there's an off-ramp. There are videos, man in the street interviews going viral in New York, and people are just celebrating it. They're saying that they believe Charlie got what he deserved. They are lying about everything that he stood for. And this is the evil that we have dealt with and we have fought against. The banality of evil. These people have the nerve to say, Charlie Kirk called for violence and this is what you get. Charlie Kirk never called for violence. Charlie Kirk condemned violence every.
Okay, we're going to go back to the beginning of this.
We have breaking news in the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a post from Steven Crowder, which appears to be a leaked DOJ government file so far on what they've found. Without wasting any time, they discovered a Mauser 30-06, the casing from the shot still in the weapon. On the rounds, they say it was engravings expressing transgender and anti-fascist ideology. Now, I'll say this again. Shout out to Steven Crowder and the Louder with Crowder team for working through the night and doing the work to get information on this. I will also stress, I understand the risk in this reporting. I'm sure Steven does as well. The issue, of course, being that the investigation is ongoing, and there's a reason why the DOJ is not formally releasing this right now. And again, that is, they want to avoid compromising any potential investigation into this individual. So more information is starting to come out. There's a lot that I want to discuss. There are people who have been posting throughout the night that it was Israel. I'm not kidding. Massively viral posts. I have people messaging me. This just doesn't seem to make any sense. And must be embarrassing for you now that the ATF, according to Steven Crowder's team, sent them this basic DOJ file so far on the information they have pertaining to the shooting. And I suppose take it with a grain of salt. It is what it is. This is Steven Crowder. I believe his sources are trustworthy. He received an email with a screenshot from an internal message describing the weapon to the ATF, which makes sense because the ATF would handle things like this. Let me read for you guys what the message says. We'll zoom in on this, make it a little bit easier for you to read on screen. You can see at the top of the screenshot of the phone, it says teams.doj.gov. Teams, of course, being a subdomain, with the domain being DOJ. Now, certainly things like this could be fabricated, but considering the due diligence and the credibility of the Louder with Crowder team, I believe this is very, very likely to be accurate. But I stress that it's an initial report with an initial leaked file. Crowder believes it to be trustworthy. And I believe, considering the virality of the story, especially, it's absolutely worth discussing. And I believe it is likely correct. Excuse me. It reads, on September 10th, 2025, at approximately 12:24 p.m., conservative political influencer Charlie Kirk was shot and killed at the Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Mr. Kirk was speaking at the university as part of the American Comeback Tour. Multiple SLC 1 and 3 agents responded immediately. The suspect fired one shot from an elevated position on a rooftop in an adjacent building on the campus, and surveillance video shows the suspect jumping off and fleeing the area on foot. ATF and other law enforcement located an older model imported Mauser 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle wrapped in a towel in a wooded area near the campus. The location of the firearm appears to match the suspect's route of travel. The spent cartridge was still chambered in addition to 3 unspent rounds in the top-fed magazine. All cartridges have engraved wording on them expressing transgender and anti-fascist ideology. An emergency trace has been submitted, and ATF SLC is working leads generated by the trace. The firearm and ammunition have been taken by the FBI for DNA analysis and fingerprint impressions. Upon completion of forensics, the firearm will be disassembled for additional importer information. Multiple people of interest have been contacted or detained because of eyewitness testimony and review of video footage. The primary suspect is yet to be identified. ATF is assisting in the investigation with multiple other federal, state, and local partners, and the case is co-led by the FBI and Utah SBI. So, Steven Crowder says, this morning my team received an email from an officer at the ATF. The email included a screenshot from what appears to be an internal message describing a weapon and cartridge located by an ATF agent and other law enforcement near the scene of the Charlie Kirk shooting at Utah Valley State University. I will stress this again, and I mean this with the utmost respect to Crowder's team. It's an initial report of a leaked document, and it's internal, so things like this could be easily fabricated. I want everyone to please take it with a grain of salt. It is initial. Personally, it makes sense based on the messages that we've been seeing, the information that has come out so far, as well as the legal due diligence of Steven Crowder and his sources. Steven Crowder, of course, received information pertaining to the shooter at that Catholic school, the transgender shooter before, that turned out to be correct as well. I believe his team takes this very seriously, and for this reason, I find his reporting to be very highly credible. But I do think it's important to say, just it's very, very early. It is preliminary, and so take it with a grain of salt. This is what we're getting so far. I'm concerned about falling into confirmation bias. A lot of people wanting this to believe this. Now, I want to discuss what many people have been talking about in terms of what happened yesterday, the rooftop, and then subsequently the statements that we've seen from leftist organizations, prominent, formal activist organizations at the highest level, attacking Charlie Kirk. And I will say this. The New York Times on their header bar with a memorial to Charlie Kirk, deeply respect that. I know a lot of people are upset with TMZ because in the video when they were discussing Charlie Kirk, you heard laughter. They later came out with an apology saying that they were laughing at a car chase and cheering for a car chase. It was poorly timed. They do not support any kind of cheering over this death. They rejected it. And guys, I think you gotta throw them a bone. You gotta cut them slack on this one.
No, we don't.
The leaders of TMZ came out and said this was not laughter at Charlie Kirk. We would not accept that, and they would not work there if that was the case. And this means, whatever you want to believe about it, they are telling you they're on your side, whether because people shamed them, whatever, for whatever reason, or because they always were. We want as many people in this space to be standing up against far left extremism and political violence. So I accept their apology.
I don't.
Because we have to say, thank you for condemning what people are saying about Charlie. And we leave the door open for you to come and stand with us against this violence. Don't push them away. They are telling you that they agree with you. You may not like what the initial video was. Now, as for Occupy Democrats, many of these other organizations, they are hammering down, doubling down, effectively saying that they believe Charlie got what he deserved. These people are evil. They are demons. They are making posts saying mainstream Democrats are condemning the violence while MAGA calls for blood and vengeance, which is just false. Charlie never called for violence. He denounced it. All of the top prominent personalities have rejected this. A good majority of run-of-the-mill accounts are rejecting political violence, mostly expressing fear that the left has opened the door, that they have fired the starting gun, that they have signaled to each other it's now.
Yep.
And I will say this of Democrats and liberals, they are similarly condemning the violence. It is the fringe of the far left cheering for this. However, prominent liberal and progressive NGOs are celebrating. Comments across Reddit are celebrating. I am not going to condemn political leaders right now for condemning this. I will absolutely call out those advocating for violence or escalation, and I don't care who they are. But I don't believe there's an off-ramp. There are videos, man in the street interviews going viral in New York, and people are just celebrating it. They're saying that they believe Charlie got what he deserved. They are lying about everything that he stood for. And this is the evil that we have dealt with and we have fought against. The banality of evil. These people have the nerve to say, Charlie Kirk called for violence, and this is what you get. Charlie Kirk never called for violence. Charlie Kirk condemned violence every step of the way. He never condoned or supported or called for in any way violence. They're lying about him. They're lying about him being racist. They're lying about him being a white supremacist or a white nationalist. This is what they do. They do it to him. They do it to everybody. They do it to you, and you know it. You've experienced it. They are doing this because they are trying to wink, wink, nudge, nudge more people to get engaging in acts of violence like this.
Exactly.
MSNBC fired Matthew Dowd. Dowd or what is his name? Let me make sure I get his name right because I don't know this. Is it? Yeah, Matthew Dowd. Matthew Dowd was fired for his statements about Charlie Kirk. When Charlie had been shot, this man made the comments, "Your awful words lead to awful actions." Charlie didn't have awful words. Charlie was willing to debate and discuss with anybody, and his words were just his opinions. They fired this man. Good. We have these updates from the New York Times. I know that we've already gone over the details from Louder with Crowder, his post. I'm doing a live stream, which I don't normally do. The crew wasn't even here yet at work. I mean, I didn't sleep. I only got a couple hours of sleep. It was very difficult. And my heart rate was elevated the whole time. So I decided, we'd come in with the updates live, and I'd bring you this show today. New York Times says a manhunt is currently underway. The Utah Department of Public Safety have scheduled a news conference at 7 a.m. Mountain Time at Utah Valley University, where Charlie Kirk was killed. They'll provide a recap and updates. I believe that may be now, actually. I'm wondering if we can see if I can find that. Let's see if we can find any. Guys, it was pretty brutal today in that it's 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
and I wake up to the news repeating the images of 9/11 the morning after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I'm going to try and see if we can get this press conference, see if there's any updates. Let's see, BBC, Live Fox Now. Right now, the news is just covering the 9/11 anniversary at the Pentagon, which is also extremely important. Also, let's see, I think the BBC.
Tactical clothing, as well as a mask, a helmet, and possibly aviator-style glasses. The FBI now assisting local authorities here. They have established a hotline to have the public send in photos or any cell phone video that may help them piece together a timeline. And so at this point, this campus also located near a major thoroughfare, Interstate 15, which connects to a major city, Salt Lake City, and goes all the way south to Las Vegas. And so the dragnet does widen at this hour as they're looking for the shooter.
And just tell us a bit more about Charlie Kirk and the event there.
It looks like the press conference is about to begin.
Well, overall, this was going to be part of the
I don't know why they're not showing the
American
statement that
comeback tour. It's part of the Turning Point USA chapter. It was something
looks
that
like
he
the
had
press
been
conference is
publicizing
starting.
in
Perhaps
the weeks
the
leading
BBC
up to
is not
yesterday.
covering.
There had been several folks that had protested against it. Some of them signing some petitions. But this ended up happening at about 20 minutes into the noon event here at the university, the Utah Valley University campus in the Central Quad. It was, he had set up.
We have Commissioner Bo Mason, B-E-A-U, last name M-A-S-O-N. Anyone need me to repeat that?
Yeah, one more time, please.
One more time.
Let's pull this up on YouTube. I don't need that USA Today stuff.
T. Bowles, B-O-H-L-S. And then Bo Mason, B-E-A-U, Mason, M-A-S-O-N. Everybody got that? Perfect.
So it looks like she's just announcing the names
Hi,
of the
everyone.
individuals.
My name is Hillary Kellner. I'm the Communications Director for the Utah Department of Public Safety. Today, we will have two speakers, one representing the state of Utah and one representing our federal agencies. They will be providing some updates as well as a recap of what happened here at Utah Valley University yesterday. We will be able to take a couple of questions after they are done speaking, but it will be short in order to stay in tune with the president speaking at 9:45. So I'll go ahead and introduce Commissioner Bo Mason.
It looks like then we'll have a statement from Trump on the fact that it is 9/11.
Good morning. I'm Bo Mason, Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. I'd be remiss if we didn't start off today and recognize the significance of the day. Historically, on 9/11, law enforcement has come together as a group to recognize and honor those that sacrificed to preserve the ideals of this country, the freedoms of this country. And instead, we find ourselves today hunting a murderer who chose to violate our rights, the rights of an individual within this country. Just to recap yesterday's events, at around 12:20 p.m., political influencer Charlie Kirk was at Utah Valley University participating in a student-sponsored event with Turning Point USA. Charlie was shot at that event. He was transported to a local hospital where he later passed. Last night, his body was moved to the state office of the medical examiner. We will continue to facilitate movements to get him home today and with his family. Yesterday, during the investigative process, we located a couple of persons of interest. We interviewed those individuals, and after releasing them and after clearing them of being suspects, they faced scrutiny, they faced threats. We asked the public to be patient with the investigative process. These individuals were not suspects, they were people of interest. We ask that you do not impose into those people and that investigative process. They don't deserve that harassment for being subject to that. I'd like to thank all the investigators that are involved in this. They have worked around the clock all day yesterday, through the night last night. Investigators from the State Bureau of Investigations, from county, from city agencies, the university, our federal partners with the FBI, the ATF, and many others. Those are just a few of the people that we have involved in this. I'd like to thank all of them for their strong work. Through all that work last night, we were able to make a few breakthroughs. We were able to track the movements of the shooter. Starting at 11:52 a.m., the subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood. Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, witnesses, and have thoroughly worked through those communities, trying to identify any leads. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time. We're working through some technologies and some ways to identify this individual. If we are unsuccessful, we will reach out to you as the media and we will push that publicly to help us identify them. But we're confident in our abilities right now, and we would like to move forward in a manner that keeps everyone safe and moves this process appropriately. Last night I communicated with Erica. The family's devastated. As a commissioner of public safety, as a father, as a husband, I can only imagine what that family's going through. The heinous event that happened yesterday is not in Utah. This is not what we're known for. Over the past several weeks, we've seen the state come together to help families in mourning, come together as a community to show what Utah is known for a state of character, of service, of camaraderie, of a neighboring feel. We will not stand for what happened yesterday. We are exhausting every lead. We have every officer invested in this, every investigator, every local agency. The outpouring of support from the law enforcement community has been astounding. We are investing everything we have into this, and we will catch this individual. Having walked through the crime scene, through the hallways of this school, through the classrooms, I can't imagine what the people on scene felt as well. A horrific event where some of them barricaded in classrooms, some of them ran in fear. Can't overstate the tragedy and the horrific event that yesterday was, and how we will work to bring to justice the actions of one individual or any other individuals that assisted in that. Our state has gone through a lot, and we will come out successful. With that, I'll turn the time over to Special Agent Bowles.
Good morning. My name is Robert Bowles, and I am the Special Agent in charge of the Salt Lake Field Office. Following yesterday's tragic shooting of Charlie Kirk, FBI agents have been working around the clock in coordination with our law enforcement partners. We are and will continue to work nonstop until we find the person that has committed this heinous crime and find out why they did it. This morning, I can tell you that we have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle.
Corroborating Crowder's reporting.
That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. So the FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon. Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis. Now, I understand there are a lot of questions about motive. I assure you that all leads, tips are being fully investigated. As of this morning, we have received more than 130 tips. We thank the community for that. The FBI has brought every resource to bear. and we will continue to do so throughout the course of this investigation. The FBI's mission is to protect the American people. It's to uphold the Constitution of the United States. Any attack on the First Amendment is an attack on the very foundation of our democracy. That is why we will relentlessly pursue this case and the shooter until we find him. We also continue to grieve with the family and the community. It's our community. If you have any video or images from the shooting, we ask you to please submit them to our digital media tip website at www.fbi.gov/Utah Valley Shooting. You can also call the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. We truly rely on the public's help in these types of cases, and no tip is too small or insignificant. Thank you.
Commissioner James Matthews from Sky News. Can I ask about the shooter? There's clearly information about him or her who say they're confident at this stage in terms of tracking down who they are. Can you talk to us about their movements, their demeanour? Do you think it's a man? And also, can I ask, what were the security arrangements in place? Was that roof being monitored? It's a question many people will have.
Absolutely. So what I'll release about the suspect is suspect blended in well with a college institution. We're not releasing many details right now, and we will soon. But right now we're not. But that individual appears to be of college age. We are confident in our abilities to track that individual. If we're unsuccessful in identifying them immediately, we will reach out for the public's help and the media's help in pushing those photos. That was a new development overnight, working through the night, studying those cameras. So that's something that's new and that we're working through right now. As far as the security, I cannot speak to that. Neither the Department of Public Safety nor the Federal Bureau of Investigation was involved in the planning or security of this event, and that'll have to be a question later for other agencies.
I wanted to ask you, you mentioned that you found the gun in a wooded area. Do you believe that the suspect could be hiding in the woods? And is that suspect possibly still in this area?
So that's a good question, and it's a question that goes to the safety of the community, right? No, not in those woods. We walked through those woods and secured it. As to the community, I can tell you that this was a targeted event. We don't believe the community is at risk. However, we're exhausting every resource to find him, and we will do so.
Special Agent Bowles, never to speak with the BBC. From the images you have, can you see clearly the suspect's face? You say he's college age. You believe he was from this university, and how far do you think he may have gone in this time span?
So I can't comment specifically on his face or any details such as that, as it's continuing to be part of the investigation, and again, we'll release that shortly. However, we're doing everything we can to find him, and we're not sure how far he's gone yet. But
you have a clear image of his face?
We have images of the suspect.
So,
can you trace the gun to owner?
That you've been able to recover, do you believe you know who this person is, the person that you're looking for at this point?
Again, as part of the investigation, we're not releasing any details such as that.
Any fingerprints or DNA?
We are exhausting all of our resources to be able to collect those, but that's, again, part of the investigation.
Have you been able to trace back the owner of the gun?
Excuse me?
You said you found the weapon. Have you been able to trace back the owner of that weapon or who purchased it?
We are working on that, but again, part of the investigation.
It's probably unregistered.
Not at all. We've got complete and total support from everyone, from director.
Oh, I'll be right back.
It's been an incredible supportive environment so far.
Are tweets like the one yesterday useful though, where we announced that there's a suspect in custody?
All I can say is that we're working the investigation the best we have with the environment we're given.
Those are all the questions for right now. Thank you, everybody.
No one asked about motivation. So I apologize for the low audio. That's just the audio. I boosted the audio as best I could on our end. without blowing out our speakers. You can hear a bit of the hiss. So that's sorry guys if the audio was a bit low. The press conference confirms the weapon, corroborating the report from Steven Crowder, the ATF leaked document, a bolt-action rifle, and it seems to make sense. I'll say a few things. I'm not a gun guy. I'm only a little gun guy, right? I got a lot of guns, a lot of ammo. I've been familiar with body armor for 15 years. Again, not an expert. I have 2 courses of standard hostile environment training. Like, that's not a lot. I'm saying that it's like minimal. I've been in conflict and crisis zones. I've been trained specifically on, again, 2 hostile environment courses. This means like a week of training. I'm saying it's minimal. And I'm saying this because I'm seeing a lot of people on social media claiming that this looked like a professional hit. There are some people, high-profile accounts, lots of followers, saying that it's confirmed Israel did it. It's just absolutely insane. The best assessment that I've seen that seems to make the most sense was that this was an amateur shot, and there's a couple of views on it. Some people are stating that the bullet appeared to ricochet off of a vest before hitting Charlie in the neck. Maybe, and admittedly, I will not watch that video. I saw it once, and once was enough. So I could be totally wrong about everything because I'm not watching.
Yeah, I won't watch it again.
Stupid, I know. I've seen worse videos in war, and I've seen worse in war. But it's just too difficult, I guess. Whatever. It is what it is. The best assessment that I saw was that this is an amateur shot taken at about 450 feet, about 150 yards, that did not account for drop. This individual likely had a bolt action. This is now confirmed by the press event with a scope. And my understanding, and in my experience, again, not being a gun guy, this is a child's degree of difficulty. We have a range out here. It's a public pseudo range. You're not supposed to, but everybody does. It's a great backstop, and the community uses it. There's implied rules in this community about the range we have, but it is public land. And I've seen, and again, I'm just telling you my experience. I'm not a gun guy. Maybe I'm wrong. 100-yard shots. Literally a child with his father. And I can't remember what he was using, a bolt-action rifle. This is just one of probably numerous events at the range. Kid made every shot. The dad was helping him zero in his scope, get the sights lined up, you know. The kid made some adjustments and then hit every target. Me personally, my understanding is that a shot like this is not something that you need extensive training for. That was my experience. It's about 150 yards with a scope, bolt action, less moving parts, and the best estimate I saw was that they were likely aiming for Charlie's head. It's difficult to say, and did not account for drop because they were untrained, resulting in a strike to the neck. Again, many people have stated that Charlie was likely wearing a low-profile vest, and the bullet bounced off of it. Now, again, stressing this to the greatest degree I can, I am no expert, but I do own body armor in various degrees. I've used it on numerous trips overseas. Illegally, I might add. We've gone to countries where it's a crime to have body armor, and we brought it anyway. I own FRAS, as well as other systems I'm not going to describe in greater detail. My general understanding, a 30-06 is not going to bounce off of low-profile armor, which is maybe level 3, 3A. If Charlie was wearing armor, that doesn't seem to make much sense. But again, I don't know. Maybe at the angle it did, but my understanding is it doesn't quite make much sense. body armor, a lot of people base their views off these things from movies. In Back to the Future, the terrorists pull up and spray Doc Brown with an AK, and he's like, "I'm wearing a bulletproof vest." That is not reality. That's not reality. There was a video, I can't remember the YouTuber. They asked how many level 3A vests will to stop 1-308, and I think it was like 6 standard vests the bullet went through. Now, I've been given plate carriers on numerous occasions when I've traveled overseas into conflict and crisis. I've never been in direct war zones, but I've been in urban conflict, which people are shooting with rifles and things like that, but it's certainly not an active war zone like, Syria, Iraq, or Afghanistan. The instructions that I was given was that these ceramic plates can withstand about 1 round before shattering and becoming ineffective. The round upon hitting a plate will shatter. But again, I don't know. And I know there are people commenting, and I know some of these comments that people are making are not correct. I don't know that I'm completely correct. I defer to the gun tubers and the military vets who have substantially more experience in this area. What I can say is with the range nearby us, we more so in the past year would do range days like every week. At 50 yards, with no training whatsoever, and iron sights don't miss. And we have a variety of weapons. I got a lot. We have a veritable arsenal for a variety of reasons. One, because we like guns and we live in West Virginia. And, I've always stated this. I've always said, like, my handgun, I'm no good with a handgun. Handguns, I'm just not trained. And I think I was saying at like 30 yards, I was 2 of 7 with a 45, like miserably bad. With my long guns.
Yeah, it's because you're shooting a 45 with fucking hand cannon.
It happens, but I typically don't. I've got several bolt action rifles with scopes, and we've got some ARs with iron sights, and we don't miss. At 50 yards with iron sights, we don't miss. And I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on this, but there are people that are pushing this narrative. It was a professional hit job and it goes way higher than this. And I'm like, guys, I think this was, even before the reporting from Crowder, a radical leftist. And that's it. Again, I've read several assessments. Many pointed out you do not aim for the neck. That's just not, it's not something that people typically aim for. When you're going for a target for an assassination or a hit, it's head or chest, typically chest. Some have stated that because of his vest, they would aim for the head, which may be, but I don't think Charlie was wearing plates. It's possible he was wearing something like flexible rifle armor, FRAS, they call it. These are hexagonally latticed ceramic plates that can withstand rifle rounds. The technology has improved greatly, so maybe that could cause a ricochet, in which case a body shot makes sense. But I don't know. I'll grab some of your super chats in a minute. But for now, we'll go through some of what we're seeing. I do want to mention that Give, Send, Go has up on their front page a fundraiser for Charlie Kirk's wife and children. It is currently at $170,000. And just my heart goes out.
Can somebody grab that
tremendous
link?
Respect to everybody who's pitching in. Charlie, of course, had worked very hard for almost 2 decades building up a machine to fix and save this country. He was the second most powerful political person in this country. And we say that after Donald Trump. And I think that is fair to say. It is remarkable what Charlie had built up in his 31 years, starting at 18. Obviously, he was working before age 18, but Turning Point USA launched, I believe he was 18 years old when he launched Turning Point. And he's built it into a massive political machine with one of the most significant and most consequential political events in this country, AmFest, every year, for which it is the honor of my life that Charlie invited me to be on stage, to have his team work so hard for us without asking for anything in return. I will keep it private, but I just want to say thank you to Charlie and Turning Point. Because just what they did, the lengths they went for me and my team to give us the opportunity to be at their event, despite me being more of a moderate and having disagreements with Charlie.
Thank
Charlie
you.
invited me up onto his stage, and even crackpots like Ian Crossland, I say that with love, Ian, were invited onto Charlie's stage. And Ian frustrated Charlie. He did. But Charlie invited us because that's what he did. He said, come and have this conversation. He invited us. Now I know Charlie and I and TPUSA, we agree on a lot, but we disagree on a bit. We do. On important issues. TikTok was one of them. Abortion was one of them. Death penalty was another. Charlie said, I know we disagree, but we're going to have that conversation. I'm going to talk with you. You can come on my stage. And when I said it is extremely difficult for us to make this trip, Charlie and TPUSA said, don't worry, we will take care of you. And they went to great lengths to bring us out, and they asked nothing of us, and they took care of us and our crew. And it is so sad. One of our team members was, we got a couple new guys recently joined us to help with production. And a week or so ago, they were like, you are going to love AmFest. It is so amazing. I hope you get to go. Charlie treated me like royalty. And you know what I will say? There are so many people that are coming out right now saying that he was their friend. Every phone call I've had with sources, with people in industry and politics, they were crying their eyes out. And I thought about this. So many people considered this man to be a good friend. And it's because of how hard he worked to treat you well and extend what he had built to you for your success. When we went, I believe this was the first time we were going, and we kept telling them, we have so many hurdles to bring Timcasts to Arizona. Not only did Charlie say, you can do your show in my studio, we will have a team to run it for you at their own expense. They built us a temporary studio with a great screen behind us. They set up a table. They got our mic set up. They used their equipment. And Charlie personally stayed behind when his staff left to make sure our show happened late at night when he didn't have to do that. And it was things like that which make this... There are so many people who have so much more right to be angry than me. I didn't play golf with Charlie. We didn't go to the arcade together or play poker. He was just somebody who, in this space, inspired me, came on my show. We have an autographed poster of him several times, extended opportunities to me, and moved mountains for me and my crew without us asking, without asking for anything of us in return, so that we could be a part of what he built. I was just, it was an honor, sir. He did that for everybody. And I think that's why this one is so impactful. And that's why I see, you know, I watched that statement from Trump the other day, and it really did seem like Trump was holding back, much like I and many other people are. I see so many streams, so many comments from people fighting back tears, because every interaction I had with Charlie was, I am going to do something for you with nothing for nothing in return. And we're sitting here being like, ain't no such thing as a free lunch. What's going on here? But he did. And I understand, you know, some will make the argument, of course he wanted you at TPU. You have a big TPUSA, you have a big show. It's good. It's good for him to be on your show too. It's mutual. He didn't have to give us his studio. He didn't have to build us a studio. He didn't have to stay there. All of these things could have been accomplished with a staff member will greet you. Thank you and have a nice day. It didn't have to be Charlie personally taking the time out of his day and giving us what he had. And he did that for everybody. And that's why so many people were hurt so tremendously by this. I'm seeing so many messages from people online about how he would have been president. Everybody agrees. We were all, that's like the first thing everybody was saying in the studio the other day. Nobody worked harder. Nobody was more charismatic, giving, and generous. And I genuinely mean that. I know everybody, you know, at funerals and they eulogize, they talk about the greatness of somebody. This is why, you know, when Trump got shot, it was shock. And it was concern for this country. And I like Trump, but Trump's not my friend. And I don't mean that disparagingly. He's a prominent figure of charisma and leadership that I've met several times. But that's about it. Charlie helped me, inspired me and my team. The events that he did had me inspired. I like to joke often and say I'm jealous of, I'm so jealous of so-and-so for the things they're doing. But the reality is it's inspiration. I had texted with Charlie about doing campus events, and I had just texted him recently, and it seems surreal. We had an event planned in 1 month. It's canceled. It is. There are people who are saying, don't be weak, don't cancel. For now, these events are not happening. We will see how this changes as things move forward. But it's, and I didn't get I got a couple hours of sleep, and it was very difficult. There is an emotional pain that translates into a physical pain from this. It is a testament to the work of Charlie Kirk and Turning Point that so many people around the world are in pain over what these people did to him and his passing. It is an inspiration to see so many people recognize how good of a person Charlie was. And I am infuriated. I don't even want to pull up Occupy Democrats. I don't want to pull up what they're saying about him, because this is what these people, you know what, I will show, I'll show this, their page, so you can see a bit of what they're posting about this man. They just won't stop. They just won't stop. With 1 million followers, a political organization is posting about how bad he was. They are lying about what he believed. They are taking his quotes out of context to smear him and belittle him. And I will tell you this, he did not advocate for violence. He was not racist. He fought against racism and white supremacy. He was a moderate who believed in democratic values and our constitutional republic. He epitomized democracy that these liberals claim to want. That he would say, okay, we'll sit down and we'll talk about it. To the point where he said, I will come to your campus where your ideas flourish and you can challenge me right to my face. And you know what they responded with? They responded with taking that olive branch that he extended them to shoot him and kill him. I'm not surprised at the report from Crowder about trans radical Antifa ideology, because we have seen in recent history, these past several months, I'm not going to name these individuals or groups, but from the wanton violence of these mass shootings to the targeted killing of law enforcement, we have seen it with the Tesla terror attacks. And we were fortunate enough that, as far as I can recall right now, off the top of my head, nobody was seriously injured or hurt. But they did open fire on Tesla dealerships. My fear right now, and the reason why I say these events are canceled is, look, Charlie was 1,000 of me. He was 1,000 times bigger than me. I'm a guy on the internet. I got a podcast. I know people watch it, whatever. My fear in the conversations we've had and our security assessments is that there is a dam, and behind it, leftist psychopathic extremists. They've been leaking through with these terror attacks. Now, I know the left responds to all of these shootings with, majority of mass shooters are cis white men. It's a lie. It is a fabrication, 100%. The reality is the majority of mass shootings are personal targeted violence. And that's true. And you can see Chicago, Baltimore. It largely is in the black community, young black men shooting each other. But what these organizations do is they exclude this violence and say, well, that's not what we mean by mass shooting. Okay, fine. So when they're saying politically targeted, they say it is cis white men. Sure. Young men are the perpetrators of violence, and this country is majority white. In recent history, we have had a string of violent transgender radical extremists. So when we bring that up, and when people talk about it, that is not to reject that there are other extremists that have done other things. It's to point out this is a problem that is bubbling up and must be called out. The concern that we have security-wise is that these people were waiting for a figurative starting gun. These people were posting online. Let me show you one of the reports that we have from Newsweek. Blue Sky issues warning to any users celebrating Charlie Kirk assassination. Across social media, there are posts, there are videos, there are interviews. People on the streets of New York, regular people celebrating and calling for more. People on X, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Blue Sky, celebrating and calling for more. I would say the bulk of it is people saying that they believe Charlie got what he deserved, things like that. He did not. But there are many leftists that are saying now is the time. There are videos with millions of views where there's a man saying, y'all are next. Each and every one of you podcasters and pundits and conservatives and right-wingers. The concern is these people have long wanted to engage in this violence, but they didn't want to be the first. They wanted to be told when. And with this attack on Charlie Kirk, the question that they are all seem to be stating now is, it is on. Some have suggested this was the beginning of a civil war. A lot of the comments that we're seeing are, this is a shot heard around the world, a potential Franz Ferdinand moment or a Fort Sumter. Charlie Kirk is the most consequential political figure of our generation, of the younger generation. Donald Trump, of course, the most consequential political figure of probably our lifetimes. But Charlie, of our lifetimes, just behind him. I say of the younger generation, millennial, Gen Z, and younger, Charlie was the most prominent political figure. And that's why many believed that he was going to be president. But he was an activist. He wasn't a politician. He is 31. He hasn't run for Congress. He ran an activist organization to debate people and communicate, and they killed him. I think it's reasonable to assume it was transgender, radical, far leftism.
Yep.
Stephen
As
Crowder's
always.
reporting shows this is the case, and the press conference this morning corroborated the weapon as stated in that leaked document, corroborating his reporting further. I already trust Crowder on this one, recognizing it's an initial report, and sometimes these things can be wrong, no matter how good you are at your job. But Crowder is not posting this just he didn't get sent an email and just say publish it anyway. He verified this. He authenticated the individual behind it. He has been right. He has received law enforcement documents before. He has been correct in the past. It all lines up. The shooter did not appear to be professional. It seems they had even minimal weapons training. And yeah, so the concern we have right now is that for me, for many others, the left has stated it has begun. And there are people that are posting saying, don't be weak, don't be a coward, don't let them win. And I can only respond with, first, I have a family. I know it's my wife and I, we've been together for a while, but our child is relatively young, but that doesn't change anything. And I've talked about this in the past, the threat of family, which can inhibit the important work for the betterment of the world, but it is a reality. And I think everyone recognizes that. But more importantly, the question is, when you weigh this, we are in a world today where we have access to the entirety of the communication sphere through social media. And every day, my show reaches millions of listeners. And it's not just my show. We have Pop Culture Crisis with 372,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's a smaller show, but they do get their millions for the month. And they reach a lot of people discussing political and cultural ideas. I'm sorry, I should say cultural and pop cultural ideas, but from a more moderate, non-leftist perspective, which I think is important. Tales from the Inverted World has been taking off. And this is a conversation about the weird, the wild. We have other shows. We're selling skateboards. We sell coffee. There is so much work that is being done. And the question I'm asked is, would you risk it all to go to an event with 300 people? Now, with all due respect to those 300 people, we love you. We love that you come to our events and you make it magic. And the crowd cheering, clapping, booing, jeering, agreeing, disagreeing really makes those conversations. But the question then is, do we risk the entirety of what we are working on, the message we are spreading and what we are building, so that we can do these events? We're going to figure out how to do them, but they're not going to be, at least for now, this may change. for now, we are looking at public ticketed events or open. We were actually scheduled, and we've been scheduled for 6 months to do a campus field event, same as Charlie. I had reached out to Charlie earlier in the year, inspired by the debates and the work that he was doing. And I said, bro, I would love to be able to do something like this. I looked at the work Charlie was doing and I said, he's the best. I want to be like Charlie. I reached out to him. I'll keep the conversation generally private, obviously, but it was an affirmative. We're gonna make this happen. And I was inspired by the work that he had done. I wanted to be a part of it. And we had an event scheduled. It was Alex Stein and I had an event scheduled that I will not be attending. It's in public at a university, and we can't get security guarantees, obviously, especially with this. So I don't want to risk all the work that we do. I'm hoping that, look, I'm going to be 40 in 6 months, getting old, but this is a job I can do for a very long time. You know, when my legs stop working and my arms can't lift weights anymore, and my thumb is actually pretty busted up right now, I can think and I can talk for a long time. I can be an old man pundit. But I'm hoping that this building we've constructed that I sit in right now, we built it from the ground up, from grass in a field to this 40-foot tall structure with, what do we have in here? 3 studios. Incredible. I talked to my wife and I said, we should think about what this building becomes when we retire. Who will inherit it and what will they do with it? That's something we need to consider. I don't know that my daughter or future son or daughter will work exactly like this, doing this job or something similar to it. Probably not. Maybe. But for the business, what will come next? And there is a lot that we do that we are working towards right now is, as I'm about to.
Sorry, everyone. The big boss man speaking.
Operatives who located Osama bin Laden. Steve, you're an American hero. We appreciate it. We appreciate what you've gone through. Please stand. Please stand. Where are you? Oh, good-looking man. You're a good-looking guy. You remember that day. You remember that day. Good. Thank you very much, Steve. That was something. That was something. In the years that followed, America's warriors avenged our fallen and sent an unmistakable message to every enemy around the world. If you attack the United States of America, we will hunt you down and we will find you. Go all over this sometimes magnificent earth. We will crush you without mercy and we will triumph without question. That's why we named the former Department of Defense the Department of War. It will be different. We won the First World War. We won the Second World War. We won everything before that and in between. And then we decided to change the name. Well, now we have it back to where we all want it. Everybody wanted it. Everybody is so happy to have it back. You will fail and America will win, win, win. The enemy will always fail. 24 years have passed since that Tuesday morning in September, and an entire generation of Americans have come of age in a totally different world. While they cannot remember the agony of that day, they are carrying on the legacy of those who lost. Around 8:30 a.m. on the morning of the attacks, Army Lieutenant Colonel Kip Taylor sent an email to his friends and family describing the joys of fatherhood and his excitement for the upcoming birth of his unborn son. He wrote, after you have kids, There are days that you just get going and you say, "Hi, honey, I'm home." What we do until that moment pales in comparison, but just that little statement, "Hi, honey," so American, so beautiful. But that's really the point of it all, isn't it? An hour after he sent that email, Flight 77 flew into Colonel Taylor's Pentagon office and claimed the life of a very proud father and true patriot. 6 weeks later, on October 25th, 2001, Colonel Taylor's son, Luke, was born. Luke then tragically lost his mom to cancer when he was just 2 years old, leaving him to be raised by his father's brother. As a young boy, Luke asked his uncle about the folded flag on the bookshelf. And when he learned about his dad's decades of devotion to the Army and the horrors of September 11th, that's when he learned. Luke carried that memory with him and joined the ROTC as a college freshman. He graduated just last year, and I'm pleased to say he is with us today as a second lieutenant and doing very well. He's rising quickly in the infantry, preparing for Army Ranger School. The spitting image of his dad, they say, Luke says that every time he puts on a uniform, he feels connected to his father and to our country. But it was a father he never knew. Luke, your parents are together in heaven, and they could not be prouder of the man that they have produced. They produced you. Those two great people produced you. Luke, please stand. Thank you. You look good, Luke. You look good. They're looking down on you. They're very proud. This morning, we recall the light of America's best and bravest and the love that they showed in their final moments. In their memory, we make a solemn pledge and a noble promise. We will honor always our great heroes. And you are our heroes. There's a group of people that don't want to talk about our heroes, but we will always talk about our heroes. And that's the way our country is, and that's the way the people feel. We will defend the nation they served, the values they upheld, and the freedom for which they died. We will support our troops, we will protect our families, and we will preserve the American way of life for every future generation. We will build taller, grow stronger, fight harder, and soar higher. And together we will go forward as one people with one heart, one fate, one flag, and one glorious destiny under Almighty God. May God bless the memories of those who died and the heroes who fought and the soldiers who still stand watch. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the singing of God Bless America and remain standing for the benediction.
Play Scratchers $10 and up from the Arizona Lottery and enter the $1 Million Mega Market giveaway.
Let us pray. Almighty and merciful God,
Gratefully, we acknowledge your presence with us this morning and implore your presence day by day. Grant peace for those who grieve, wisdom for those who lead, and courage for those standing the watch for our nation. We implore your blessing, not asking you to conform to our will, but that you would align us with yours. Now may the Lord bless us and keep us. May the Lord make his face shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon us and give us peace. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Please remain seated until the departure of the official party. Thank you for joining us this morning. The Pentagon Memorial and the Pentagon Memorial Chapel are open until 12 p.m.
All right, there you have it. President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump, as well as the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, taking part in that 9/11 anniversary ceremony that was held there at the Pentagon to honor all of the victims that died on that day. Nearly 3,000 lives taken and hundreds of people injured. Now, you did hear from President Trump as he made the announcement there that Charlie Kirk will be posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Of course, we are following everything on the assassination of Kirk, and we'll bring you all of the updates here as they do happen. For now, I do want to head to a quick 2-minute commercial break at 10:13 on the East Coast and 7:13 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and you're watching Live Now from Fox. We'll be right back.
Man. What? What an incredible 24 hours. Steven Crowder's going live soon. I don't know if I can restream him. But I will try. My gosh. Sorry, I'm not saying anything, everybody. It's just like Tim said. I'm just out of stuff to say. That's a beautiful shot.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, 10:15 on the East Coast and 7:15 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here on this 9/11 to cover all of the anniversary celebrations, commemorations that are underway here throughout the day. We're going to dip in, as we heard from President Donald Trump a short time ago over at the Pentagon. And right now, we do want to head over to Shanksville, Pennsylvania. That is where they are honoring the lives of those aboard Flight 93 who did die there on 9/11.
This hallowed place, hallowed not by us, but by the lives of your loved ones. When Adam Schaefer invited me to return and speak, I earnestly accepted the opportunity to continue in that mission and to further establish the vision of this field as a place of healing. Looking back, you might think that the healing began with the excavation and the repair of the land at the crash site. But even that beginning had a deeper intent, that what we would ultimately accomplish would be to transform minds and to mend, to heal broken hearts and broken spirits.
All right, everybody. I'm going to end the live stream. My brain is mush. So if something happens, I will come back live. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And if you can, donate to the Charlie Kirk fundraiser. And try to have a good day.